Why do we care about deficits? Well, we care about deficits because in order to cover them, you have to borrow. And when you borrow, then you have to service a debt. The U.S. has borrowed $9 trillion over the last 20 years, supposedly, to cover its current account deficit. So you would expect to see that it now has to pay an interest on those $9 trillion it supposedly borrowed. But the U.S. isn't paying a cent. It's actually making more money out of its financial position than it was doing before.
Just explain that to us before you move on, because they have treasuries, they have, 2 to 30 year, and I see a positive interest rate, so they are paying to service that debt.
Yes, but they're making much, much more money on their investments abroad than they are paying on their liabilities abroad. And the reason why they can make so much money on their investments abroad is because that money that they've invested abroad, they've mixed with their own know-how, with their own technology. So they're making a lot of money abroad, and that money that they're making abroad covers for the supposed deficit. Now, it doesn't come in as normal dividends and so on, so it doesn't get counted the right way by the Bureau of Economic Activity. But the money's there, and every few years the Bureau of Economic Activity says that there were capital gains abroad, and more capital gains abroad, and more capital gains abroad. Those capital gains are the value generated by U.S. technology.
So that's the point, isn't it? Whether it's Hollywood, which you reference as well, whether it's Uber, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Apple, I could go on, I normally do. The fact is that you're saying that statistics from the economic agencies, what have you, are just not capturing any of this stuff.
They are not capturing the gains from the international deployment of U.S. technology. Those gains are being captured by the stock market. They are being captured by asset values. They're just not being captured by the people who do the balance of payment statistics. And they say that the U.S. isn't paying a cent, even though they should say that the U.S. borrowed in net terms $9 trillion. The U.S. isn't paying a cent. They're making almost $300 billion a year
Ricardo,
on their financial position.
This is huge. This is CNBC getting it all wrong. This is the Financial Times getting it all wrong. This is the Wall Street Journal. This is Larry Kudlow. Everyone's getting it wrong, yeah? Because you're saying that there is no deficit, the dark matter isn't being captured, and you use the analogy in your copy of flying a plane, and actually you think it's nosediving, but actually it's stable or possibly even ascending, yeah?
That's right. So the problem is, what is the problem that you're trying to fix? Right now, the U.S. is accumulating a financial position that's making more money out of their international transactions. Do you want them to make even more money? Because the U.S. is not accumulating a net debt in the sense that it's having to pay an interest rate on that. It's not. That everybody agrees on that. The U.S. is not paying to the rest of the world a cent in interest and dividends in net terms. Everybody agrees on that. So how come it supposedly borrowed massive amounts of money and it's not paying for it? So what is the problem you're trying to fix? There is no fundamental problem you're trying to fix, in the sense that there is no unsustainability in the current external position of the United States. And let me tell you something. That means that position of other countries doesn't look as happy as you would think. For example, a country like Chile supposedly has borrowed relatively little from the rest of the world, but they're paying as if they had borrowed a lot. Why? Because they're paying through their nose for imported technology that is being deployed in their countries, and that is not captured in imports and other things. It's being paid for by very, very high returns to foreign investment in their country.
Loving.
Still watching? Perfect. Click here to watch another great video from CNBC International. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.